Welcome, everyone, to the PW Fan, the ultimate pro wrestling podcast created by the fans for the fans. This is episode 103. I am your host, collector, barber, musician, and most importantly, a professional wrestling podcaster, Talk Wrestling, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcast, Steelers fan. They won this week, Booker Andy.
I'm also your host, the no-selling wrestling indie fan and football lover, Jeremy.
Okay, everyone joining in today, we will be discussing and reviewing new WWE Tag Team Champions, the legend Sting, the franchise of WCW, and current member of the AEW roster is announcing his retirement. We'll get into it. And we're going to get into a great LA Knight and Paul Heyman promo. Of course, closing out with our classic show of the week recommendations. So stick around to the end where we talk about a classic pay-per-view and I tell you guys a list of good matches and why we think that you should watch it. Before we start this week's episode, we got to go over a couple of social media plugs. Go to youtube.com/thepwfan where we ask you to kindly like and subscribe. For all other social media in general, Instagram, TikTok, X, I was going to say Twitter, but X, you just look up at the PW Fan, and we should pop right up there. Please follow us. Shirts, we have a bunch of different shirt designs on prowrestlingtees.com/the PW Fan. We're going to add a couple more this year just for fun. Yeah, I think that covers the intro. Booker Andy, let's start episode 103, buddy. The floor is yours. I pass it over to you.
So CM Punk was backstage at it was Bound for Glory Impact.
CM Punk's Impact confirmed.
No, it's not confirmed. But he was there. You know, is he making his rounds? You know, is he making his rounds? Tim, if CM Punk goes to Impact, or wait, before we say goes to Impact, Impact is finally is officially changing its name back to Total Nonstop Action TNA. If CM Punk goes to TNA, are we gonna have to start covering? Are we all gonna start watching?
I mean,
somehow it's on Access TV, whatever that is.
First of all, it's not happening. Second of all, he's gonna be back at Survivor Series, and I cannot wait till the episode after Survivor Series where you guys can all rain down compliments upon me that I knew the whole time. But he's not going to TNA. There's no way they can afford him.
I don't know.
I saw Bully Ray.
What if Tony Khan bought TNA?
Bully Ray posted a selfie with the Cult of Personality song, and then it said, "Look into my eyes, what do you see?" And I was like, "Dude, he's not. No, no."
I mean, if Tony Khan bought TNA, then they can afford him.
Fuck TNA or fuck Tony Khan. I don't mean that either. Just like I'm just mad at everyone. Punk, fuck you too. I'm mad at everyone for this situation.
Man. But did you guys see the video package of when they announced switching to TNA? It was kind of like a really cool but also corny thing. Yeah.
A little bit of a vintage throwback type of thing. I do think it's cool though, because Impact, that name fucking sucks. When Impact makes me think of Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan taking over, losing the six-sided ring, doing the four-sided ring, Jeff Hardy turning heel. It was terrible.
Dude, bring back the
Impact. That's what
ring.
Impact makes me
bring
think
it
of.
back.
Like, but
in the X Division match.
No, how sick would it be in 2023, 2024? You got WWE, obviously, AEW, and you actually have like the OG TNA wrestling back. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Oh, that's cool.
I like it. It's just they need better.
I want to.
If Impact was easier to view, like regularly consume on like a normal channel that everybody got, I really do think I would watch it.
Yeah, I think so too. If it was on like a TV, like a TNT or TBS like that, or even USA, they could easily watch. I was like, I'd probably record it. And
like Spike
check it
TV
out.
back in the day that they used to be on. Like
yeah, Spike TV.
If you told me, hey, Impact comes on I'm gonna make up something.
Well,
Impact comes on Sci-Fi Network every Thursday night, and CM Punk's on it. Like, I'm gonna watch it. Like, I'm gonna check it out at least. So,
Yeah.
but it's just so hard to watch.
Speaking of being able to watch things on cable, we never talked about this. NWA has signed a TV deal with the CW. So if you want to catch NWA on television, you'll be able to. But about what you were talking about with CM Punk, Tim.
The NWA is a great product. I suggest anybody who just wants to see like that old school wrestling style. That's a go-to. Go. It's on YouTube right now, but apparently signing with the CW, so that's cool.
So with CM Punk and Impact, as you were saying, I'm reading here on Ringside News that Punk in AEW was annually making about 15 to 20 times what a lot of the top Impact wrestlers were making.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way.
They can't afford him.
He went there to say, "Hey,
no bidding war."
Yeah.
Well, they were in Chicago, so he probably.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That makes sense then.
Yeah.
I feel like
he's
any
not
wrestling
leaving town to go.
Yeah. Go to Impact.
He stopped by WWE when they were in town. He didn't leave the city.
He doesn't leave. Yeah.
All right, but let's get into the show here, guys. Raw this week. Speaking of Raw, I was telling Jeremy before we started recording. Remember the old intros to like Raw and Smackdown, and you would see like a bunch of quick, fast-paced clips of wrestling?
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Well, Raw's on right now, and I counted in the intro how many clips of wrestling move is being done in the whole thing. And the rest of the clips are superstars standing at the turnbuckle being like, "What's up?" There's three wrestling clips. One's Shayna Baszler choking someone out, Ricochet doing a 450, and then something else. 3. You wouldn't even know it's a wrestling show if you were just like scrolling through the intro.
You'd be like, "Dang, this is like crazy. American Gladiators. Crazy. Look how cool they look."
Yeah. I mean, that kind of represents the show,
Cody
though.
Like 3 times.
Yeah, because I mean, the Raw or like especially SmackDown, I think I've seen people post about they've only had like 30, 35 minutes of actual wrestling on a 2-hour show.
Oh my god, I just want to bring this up because it made me laugh. I showed Tim this TikTok of like this guy fantasy booking like Cena for the next couple of years.
Dude, it was
and the comments are like, "This guy thinks Cena's got 3 years left in him."
Dude,
and then other comments were like, "This just gets like, worse as it goes." It was so
like the
bad.
most detailed storyline, but it was like so fucking funny and like so bad.
It was like then Cena grabs Ric Flair by the neck and is like, "I'm beating that record."
Yeah,
Ric
Flair comes back at a certain point, and Cena turns heel, and he's like, "I'm beating that record no matter what." I was cracking up, dude. Like I was like, "Dude, this shit is hilarious."
That was something that happened in like 2.5 years in to this guy's plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2 years.
2.5 years
from now.
Yeah. All right. So this past week on Raw, Sami Zayn opened up the show. He talked about his thoughts about Kevin Owens being traded to SmackDown and how he's kind of torn between KO leaving and Jey Uso being the reason why, but also being friends with Jey Uso. The Judgment Day would end up coming out, and Jey Uso would end up coming out to help an attack by the Judgment Day that ended up taking place on Sami Zayn. Jey Uso ran out with the chair and scares off the Judgment Day, and then Sami seems kind of conflicted still with Jey Uso being out there. Then there's a segment right after that, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso backstage, where they have some words, and Sami Zayn basically says he forgives him, and he's just all in his head, kind of, I guess was the gist of it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Ricochet in a Falls Count Anywhere match. I thought this was actually really good. Last week when we were watching it, I was saying if Ricochet could just go heel, maybe he would get better.
Yeah, his character
the athleticism there. It's the character.
Yeah, his character is like, I don't believe any of it.
No. Not at all. So then we had a promo segment between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. each taking personal jabs at each other on the microphone. Rollins would tell Drew to stop blaming everyone but himself for not being world champion. During this promo, Drew talked about how he became champion in an empty arena at WrestleMania, beating Brock Lesnar in less than 5 minutes, and no one was there. And so Seth basically said that it took him 4 years to get back to the top. I guess talking about his run where it ended with the Fiend stuff, and that was like kind of a shit show for the next 4 years.
Yeah. Didn't Drew also make that joke about, like, I also have a catchy theme song? But he doesn't need to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, that a lot of people want me to use. He's like, but I don't need to.
But I don't need that crutch or whatever he said.
So there has been stuff like with Rhea Ripley speaking with Drew, and during the segment, Rollins says, "Are you handling your business on your own, or have you enlisted a little help?" This is he's talking about seeing him and Rhea chatting in the background of a Ricochet promo the week before. And then McIntyre would say, "You need to think about how you're going to reinvent yourself for the 53rd time when I beat you and take that title from you at Crown Jewel." I thought this was a good segment.
Yeah, this is good.
I think they have some pretty good matches for Crown Jewel.
Yeah, so we'll announce one later that got announced this week.
I don't know about you guys. I used to be like, Crown Jewel fucking sucks. This is a joke pay-per-view. Every match
and the greatest
is silly.
Royal Rumble ever.
Yeah,
the greatest Royal
like,
Rumble or whatever.
Look, I don't want to like give it too much credit because of just like the obvious, but like
Saudi
Arabia. Been good the past couple times.
It's definitely gotten a little better. Like the card's gotten like more stacked and more serious.
I think the last bad one.
Keep in mind, this guy did think that Macho Man versus Andre the Giant was going to happen during the first one. So just never forget. Yeah.
The Prince of Saudi Arabia doesn't really understand.
I think the last bad one that I can remember was the one that had Goldberg and Undertaker, and it was awful.
Yeah, the one with Shawn Michaels bald. Hurt my soul.
Yeah, it did hurt. The one thing, just also a side note for that show, I don't know if you guys know who Cristiano Ronaldo is. He's a soccer player, but he plays in the Saudi Arabia league now. He's like really big. He's one of the best ever.
I heard that league is throwing money at people to join.
It's insane.
Well, Saudi Arabia is on that big kick to bring a bunch of tourists there, and they want to like change their image. But keep going, Jeremy.
Yeah. But the league is like mostly for like older players who are done already, but they're paying them a lot. But WWE is trying to make a deal with Ronaldo for him to show up at the show, and they're trying to pay him between 30 to 40 million.
That's insane.
Just to show up to get eyes. What his fans eyes on wrestling?
Well, and then I think he has like the most Instagram followers, something like that.
Jeremy, you're a soccer guy, for those European football. What do you think about Messi getting all that money playing in the American League?
I'm happy for Messi because he's actually going to make a difference in this league.
Dude, he's fucking crushing everyone, though. It's so funny to watch him play people. He's so good. It's like watching a pro play like a bunch of little kids. He just like destroys them. But I did want to say, just as a funny side note, that both Ronaldo and Messi have both made me a lot of money for those haircuts. Kids always bring in, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, kids would bring in, I want the Ronaldo design, which was like that like arrow thing, and I'd be like, oh yeah, no problem. It was like 2 lines, and then, dude, kids love soccer.
You're like, by now you're like, I don't need a picture.
I'm like, no, literally, I'm just like, I know, I got you.
Yeah, you're not
so funny.
All right, moving forward, where was I? Ludwig Kaiser. They've been showing a lot of like video packages for him, like they're teasing a singles run and Gunther always being mad at him. I saw a picture actually the other day. I don't know if you guys sent it to me or my buddy, but it was like Gunther on the Indies with Ludwig Kaiser when they were like really young. So they've been friends apparently a long time. They've
wow, that's cool.
All this way.
Oh yeah, that's also reminded me of the one that the TikTok I sent with him, Gunther and Darby Allin and the
in Evolve.
Evolve.
But Darby hates Evolve. Didn't he say one time in the video, he's like, fuck Evolve.
He's like, you're with Evolve? Then you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's what it was. So actually, next thing has to do with what we're watching right now on Raw. But Indy Hartwell was backstage and she wants a shot at Becky Lynch's title, her NXT title, which the match, as we're talking, is going on right now. So speaking of Crown Jewel, Raquel Rodriguez, Zoe Stark, and Nia Jax get involved after Rhea Ripley defeats Shayna Baszler. It would be shortly after this that it was announced that at Crown Jewel it's going to be a fatal 5-way with all 5 of these women for the what do they call it? The WWE World Women's World title. They don't call it World Heavyweight.
Yeah, it's like the World Heavyweight, but
yeah,
women's
for Rhea's title. And obviously, if you don't know, Rhea does not have to be the one pin to lose it. Gunther would end up having his match against Bronson Reed and retaining his Intercontinental title. And then Alpha Academy had a training segment backstage. And the only reason why I bring this up is Tozawa's crushing it backstage. I caught Tim up on some of these Tozawa clips. Tozawa's hilarious. He's like the new arch.
Every Tozawa clip from the last 10 weeks. It was pretty good.
He was just out here tonight with Alpha Academy. But I'm personally loving it. That's why I brought it up. And then the main event was the Judgment Day beating and winning back the WWE Undisputed Tag Team titles against Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso due to Jimmy Uso coming in from Smackdown and super kicking his brother.
Do you get this?
No.
Neither do I.
They're coming up on the 4th inning, so I don't know how this...
We gotta stop with the baseball references. God.
It's longer than an actual baseball season. It's just one game.
I'm a baseball guy. Look behind me. I got a freaking shrine. But it's like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Baseball's 9 innings.
I think it's leading to...
9.
It's fueling the fire for War Games, but...
War Games needs to be like the 8th inning then.
And they're not... We were talking about this before we started recording. They are not, as far as I've read, not planning on doing a brand versus brand...
Yeah.
And I don't think they did last year.
Yeah, they didn't, yeah.
Yeah. It was the Bloodline against Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't even remember who else was in that match. I know it was the Bloodline with Sammy.
Yeah, I forget who else was involved in it.
I remember who was on Kevin Owens' team.
Well, but they were building more towards the brand versus brand again because they have Nick Aldis now.
Nick Aldis now.
And then Pierce
is
as well.
Like, yeah, pal. Get out.
Vince.
It was like, God damn. Sorry.
Vince, get the fuck out of here. All right, so that wraps up Raw. Let's get into Dynamite.
Have you seen Georgie?
Dynamite. Oh my God. Tim's doing this and he's never watched an It movie in his life.
You've never seen It?
Tim doesn't like horror movies. Him and his wife don't watch horror movies.
Hello. How are you?
You need to see It.
All right, so
your voice is really good, but I've never seen the movie.
That's great.
It was like, I've just seen a bunch of TikToks.
Yeah, I've just seen a bunch of video clips.
So Dynamite opened this week with a match: Jay White versus Penta. So Jay White versus Penta. Jay White would end up winning. Afterwards, Jay White would cut a promo on MJF, and I believe Juice Robinson also would talk about his match later in the night that would be coming up, that he was going to win the Battle Royal, the Dynamite.
Yeah, get that
Battle
right.
Royal.
I like how Jay White cuts his promos though. I don't know, something about it just feels different.
They still have the coolest entrance, man.
I know. That belt needs to be on him.
It's ridiculous. Oh, you're ready for them to take it off of Max?
I mean, I think so. Like, you have so many, like, MJF right now, he technically, this is like I know it's off track, but like technically MJF has Samoa Joe, Wardlow, Jay White, and he's waiting for Adam Cole to come back, and then also the Devil storyline still. So he has like mixed in with so many people.
I wonder if the Devil Match storyline got messed up because Adam Cole got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, because I know we'll get to it because it's on Collision, I think, right?
Adam Cole?
No, the Devil clip.
I might have missed it.
Adam Cole was going to be the devil.
Do you think?
I think he was
devil.
Well, because they showed the other clip on either it was a Dynamite or a Collision this past week, and the devil looked a little like different, like body portion wise. Like people were saying he looks a little thicker now. Like, and then people were like, "What if it's CM Punk?"
Oh my god!
Imagine that,
dude. That'd be the craziest
trick the devil ever pulled.
Dude, oh my god, dude. If he came out, it would be the craziest work ever in wrestling history. I would shit my pants.
I mean, when is what's the next one? Full Gear? Is that?
That'll be about 2 months.
Yeah, that would have been 2 months.
Oh my god, there's no way, dude.
We'll get it in Tim's head. He'll just start being like, confirmed, never left AEW.
They were talking about buying out his contract all of a sudden. I don't know where. I thought he was done. I don't know.
Now Tim has a bunch of thoughts in his head. Well, speaking of MJF,
as long as it's AEW or Impact or WWE, as long as it's not Impact, I don't care where he goes.
So, he just goes to New Japan instead.
Whatever. All right, fine. I'll watch it, I guess.
So Wardlow would absolutely destroy Dolph Ziggler's brother Ryan Nemeth, and Tony Schiavone would try to talk to Wardlow. But all he did was show his wrist tape that said MJF on it, and it was clear now. They finally zoomed in on it and everything, and then walked away. So we don't know if that means that's his next target, if he wants MJF's title, or if he's backing him.
Well, he did didn't he do a segment with Tony Schiavone in the ring?
He didn't even say anything. He just showed the wrist tape and walked away.
Then he pushed Tony Schiavone, and Tony Schiavone did like a fall.
Yeah. Yeah, he pushed the interview down as he left.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So then Don Callis would come out with Powerhouse Hobb and Takeshita to talk about taking out Chris Jericho. They brought up Kenny Omega, but Kyle Fletcher would run down the ring and took the mic from him. He said he took the match with Kenny Omega as a favor to Will Ospreay, since they are in Aussie Open, or not Aussie Open. What's their Aussie Open is a tag team, but what's their group?
Oh, with Will Ospreay,
Aussie.
Empire? No,
I think the word Empire isn't. Yeah. Listeners are yelling.
They're like,
I can't remember it.
You don't even watch the product.
It's the something. It's the United Empire. Jesus.
Yeah. United Empire.
Yeah, I don't watch New Japan, so I don't see it that much. So then we would have a match between Kenny Omega and Kyle Fletcher. Kenny Omega would end up winning, being Kyle Fletcher. All right, let's talk about Sting. Sting came out and told some old stories. Poor guy. Someone took a photo, and he was announcing his retirement to a half-full arena.
Yeah.
So his retirement, he said, is going to be in February at Revolution. We don't know who's facing.
The one part I thought was kind of funny was when he mentioned Hulk Hogan, and everyone booed, and he was like, "I hear you, I hear you."
Yeah, no one gives a shit about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be on.
I did feel bad because that was like the hard cam side when they took the photo. Like if you're looking at the hard cam, and there was like no one really over there, and I like that's why I
look in that direction.
Like you ever see when Edge, Adam Copeland comes out,
he runs looks aside.
Don't ever disrespect Hogan like that.
Dude, Hogan needs to be booed every single time.
Don't even ever disrespect the Hulkster, dude. Let me tell you something, dude.
You're telling me something. He says way too many inappropriate things.
Let me tell you something, dude. One time, Bubba the Love Sponge wife was looking at me, brother, and I said, dude, why don't you... All right, sorry.
You good?
Yeah.
I lost myself for a second.
We had an interview with Nick Wayne and his mom about Nick turning on Darby Allin. His mom read him the riot act about his behavior. Darby Allin attacked Christian and Nick backstage in the fight, ended up pouring into the arena.
I thought JR was
Nick
hilarious.
broke one of his teeth.
Yeah.
I think Darby broke one of Nick Wayne's teeth, and it was bleeding. Yeah. As Luchasaurus and Christian would help him back up.
But like during the interview when Nick Wayne started yelling at his mom and JR was like, "Hey, that's your mother." He's like, "Show her some respect."
Somebody stop the damn match.
Nick Wayne's real father came out during the interview.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I gotta say, like,
I thought Nick Wayne's father was dead.
You had a father, but your father's dead.
I gotta say though, real quick, Nick Wayne's mom is probably one of the better like parents acting in wrestling.
She's a better actress than Karen Jarrett, who's on screen way more.
Cena's dad.
I like when
What Tori Wilson's dad? What about Al?
Mrs. Dad.
What about Al?
Who?
What about Dawn?
What about Al? But no, I like when Zach Allen's mom was on TV.
No one's gonna know that
when Brock Lesnar was.
They mentioned Zach Allen
and Zach Allen's mom.
They mentioned Zach Allen on commentary.
No. And he's like literally murdering him.
Zach Allen was mentioned on AEW commentary this week. I don't remember when, but he was mentioned. He was mentioned by someone.
Stand in my way. Stand in my way.
But the Dynamite,
there's like 3 Zach Allen fans out there being like.
And I think isn't the story? I think I listened to it on Bruce Pritchard's podcast that when they asked for Zach Allen, it was a different one-legged wrestler.
There's another one-legged wrestler. They hired the wrong one.
What wrong one?
Yeah, the story is Bruce was like, "Did you call him?" And he's like, Johnny Ace was like, "Yeah, I called him. He's a little older than we thought. He's not 21. He's actually 36." And then Bruce was like, "What?" And then he's like, "Yeah." He's like 36. And Bruce was like, "It's the wrong fucking guy. It's not the right one-legged wrestler."
They used him, and Brock Lesnar destroyed him.
That's so funny.
But yes, the main event of Dynamite, sorry, back on track, was the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal to see who faces MJF. And the winner, as you all could probably have predicted, was Juice Robinson.
You know what, Andy?
He used his fake TJ Maxx ring against Max Caster, who's been on a roll lately with this MJF stuff.
Those segments are becoming one of my favorites right now. And also the fact that TJ Maxx got a chant.
You know what, Andy? I think you don't give our listeners enough credit. Every now and then you want to get back on track, and I think it's all right to get off track every now and then. Let's get weird.
I need to get myself back on track because we get off the rails.
I think our listeners want to get weird every now and then.
Get weird.
You know what? Y'all want to take over the show and get weird?
It'd just be Tim and I making Vince jokes the entire time.
Oh, you're like, God damn,
you don't want
Jeremy.
me to not say certain things on the pod. You guys just go off, do your thing. Palpatine. All right, SmackDown this week. Probably, dude. SmackDown's been. Can I just say SmackDown? I know you guys are making jokes, but SmackDown is week to week lately has been my favorite of the shows.
It's been really good.
So
it's been
this
that
week,
way for a while.
Paul Heyman, I mean, it was always like that when we were kids.
Yeah, I mean, but especially the past few weeks have been really good.
But before SmackDown, actually, we get into SmackDown itself. I think the day of, maybe the day before, it was announced. I hated when they announce it on like social media, but
yeah,
what's most likely going to be the main event at Crown Jewel is Roman Reigns versus LA Knight. I don't know if I like this.
I don't like it.
How do you keep LA Knight hot after his loss to Roman Reigns?
Quote Post Malone on Hot Ones when he ate the sauce that was too hot. I don't like it.
Bomb.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's my only reason. It's how do you keep him hot unless it's not a clean finish.
It's too soon.
They're hot shotting it. It's not way too soon.
I don't know. It's weird because I feel like it's the wrong pay-per-view to do it at.
Yeah, definitely not the right pay-per-view. That's definitely for sure. Look, the match.
Crown Jewel feels like it's a different one itself.
The match is right. The time is wrong, and the pay-per-view is wrong.
Yeah.
It's the right match, but about a year before it should happen, and at the wrong.
I also don't think I don't know the Saudi Arabia crowd's gonna they'll be into him, but I don't think it'll be the same as.
It's not the same.
Everywhere
you didn't
else.
watch the press conference at the last year's Crown Jewel when he wasn't there. The crowd, he wasn't even there in the crowd at the press conference because it was outside, was chanting LA Knight, and Triple H was like, "I hear you."
All right.
He was like, I hear you, and maybe he'll be here next year. He's like, you may not even know about it, Sean. Andy and I always do the worst Triple H impression. It's like he damn right, it was me, Sean. Damn right, it was me, Sean.
Unfortunately, because of Tim, all I can think of now is Triple H is this don't vape video and this guy spitting water at the end. It's the worst fucking shit ever.
Stop vaping.
I just think of Triple H.
You're going to die if you keep doing that.
You remember the Tough Enough? It was one of the first
you
few
got one of
seasons
your,
or whatever.
you got one of your nuts hanging out your shorts there. Fix
I hear really hits this guy in the face too. I was like, Jesus.
Saw a clip.
If you flinch like that in real life, he says, you flinch like that in real life, I would have tagged you.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they did Tough Enough on the beach?
Yeah, it was fucking terrible.
In 2004.
Yeah.
LA Knight was there.
And you know who else
saw
was?
him in a video.
I'm the Boogeyman.
Ryback. Oh yeah, Boogeyman. That's where we first ever saw him.
Yeah, he lied and said that he was 24 and he was 40.
Yeah. Yep. Sure did.
And also, wasn't LA Knight was in Triple H's workout video?
Dude,
LA Knight's been everywhere.
LA Knight is I am not stopping until I become the biggest pro wrestler ever. And look, it's finally paying off.
Yeah.
So, back to LA Knight. I know I'm a party pooper, guys. His segment with Paul Heyman, he sent a warning of his own to Roman Reigns and to Paul Heyman. And then we had the Street Profits attacking LWO after their match, and Carlito comes out for the save, who got attacked last week. And Santos Escobar is becoming more annoyed week to week by Rey Mysterio not backing him up. I think we're going to get a heel Santos like we had in NXT.
Do something with your life.
Also,
you know that.
You little
You
bitch.
don't watch.
I don't. We don't. Also, did you hear that Carlito doesn't even like his new music either?
It sucks.
No one does.
Yeah, no one likes it.
Spit in the face.
Bring me back to I spit in the face. The people who don't want to be cool.
The people who don't want to be cool.
It's like the fucking scratching thing, dun, dun, dun. That's what we want.
Yeah.
And it literally just keeps doing that over and over again. Like every 10 seconds, it just goes, I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. It just starts over
He's
again.
like halfway down to the ring.
It's not very long song that just keeps repeating.
terrible, but it's way better than what he has.
Yeah.
I spit in the face.
All right.
It just literally just keeps saying it says it like 4 times on his way down to the aisle.
It reminds me of the Anarchy in the Arena where the band just kept playing the same song over and over.
Yeah, right.
Dude, never forget.
That was so bad.
Yeah, just Wild Thing for like 10 straight minutes.
Backstage at Smackdown, Jimmy Uso would take credit. Jimmy Uso would take credit for costing Cody and Jay their titles, and then we had an in-ring promo from John Cena who would hint at retirement a little bit. But he would also talk about the losing streak that he's been on. And basically threw out an open challenge. Solo Sikoa would run out, though, and they'd start brawling. Jimmy Uso would come out and help out, and then Jey Uso would appear in a mask and make the save. So he would then be a Raw superstar invading SmackDown. This would lead to a backstage segment where Nick Aldis was angry that he was angry at Adam Pearce that a Raw superstar came over and wanted to find Jey Uso, and Adam Pearce said, well, if you're going to find Jey Uso, then you should find Jimmy. And then
I mean, all this actually makes sense.
He had both of them escorted from the building, Adam Pearce included. He had Jey and Adam Pearce.
This actually makes sense because he's a SmackDown general manager
logic.
as a Raw guy there. Yeah. But I was going to say about Cena real quick, about when he posted that meme of Wolf of Wall Street where he's like, I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah. So he's going to be staying around a little bit longer. And also because, what do you say, Andy? The strike isn't actually over. So.
He's like,
it was almost over and then they couldn't cut a deal.
I am glad that you're here for a little bit longer. Even though I am not allowed
Vince,
to
you don't work here anymore.
That's right. I'm sorry. I did want to say hello.
I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I think I did. Logan Paul, after his fight with Dylan Dennis, called out Rey Mysterio for the United States title match. Well, we had a face-to-face with Rey Mysterio and Logan this week, and I want to say one of the quotes that he said because I thought it was pretty good. This was before Rey went out there. He said, the last time I beat Rey Mysterio, Dominic was still his son. The last time I beat Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns actually showed up to wrestle. The last time I beat Rey Mysterio, LA Knight didn't have a job.
It was all pretty good.
His first match in WWE, if you guys remember, was Dominic teaming up with Rey against The Miz and Logan.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't look at me with those bug eyes, sir. I'm talking to this guy.
I was looking at your
stupid slacks,
dumbass.
Are we going to get into that later?
We talked about it last week, I thought.
We already got into the bug eyes?
Well, that was last week. That was Collision last week.
Really? I didn't know that we talked about it already. I might have been high.
Yeah, because we were like, oh, there's already heat, and Edge is going to get into a fight already.
Tim's just seen more clips of it.
I've just been watching it like so much more.
It's almost funny the more you watch
when he says, I showed it to my friend who doesn't know anything about wrestling, and he thought the funniest part was I explained to him, I was like, all right, this guy's kind of going off script and the other guy's getting pissed. And I showed it to him, and he thought the funniest part was, don't look at me with those bug eyes, sir. He called him sir.
But Edge always is looking like...
I know, he does have bug eyes.
I'm talking to this guy. The more you think about it, the funny again. The more I watch it, when he says sir, I was fucking dying. I don't know why. It just kept hitting me more and more.
Before
funny.
He gets in the ring, he says, what is this, Wild Hogs? With Christian, Danielson,
that's right.
Edge all in the ring.
Right.
All right, the main event of SmackDown was Io Sky retaining her title against Charlotte Flair. Afterwards, Bayley attacks, and then we have a returning Bianca Belair returning to save Charlotte. I would have preferred a returning heel Bianca Belair.
Yeah,
I think she's one of those superstars that needs to go heel after all this time.
I saw a lot of people not liking Bianca's return as a babyface at all. Actively not liking her now.
No, turn on someone though that's beloved. That's
yeah.
I guess she could have turned on Charlotte.
Yeah, but also people don't like Charlotte.
She could have saved her and then take her out.
Yeah.
Charlotte's kind of like
Charlotte's
MJF.
Not like a likable person.
Charlotte's like that. She's it's like she's a heel, but sometimes she's a baby face, and when she's a baby face, you're like, I know this isn't gonna last long.
Yeah.
You're gonna go back sooner than later.
Let me ask you: is there on the WWE roster? Is there any babyface women that you guys are like, yeah, she's dope? I'm looking at everyone in the ring right now, and none of them are babyfaces on Raw.
Yeah.
There's one. There's one.
I like Raquel,
but I don't care. I liked her better in NXT.
I mean, yeah, she's good, but I don't feel like she's like going to be that top baby.
Oh, whoa, hang on, whoa. I mean, I'm literally looking at her right now. Oh, wait, you're talking about baby faces. I was going to say, we can never disrespect Rhea. Rhea's GOAT status at this point right now.
Rhea's an anti-hero. Everyone likes her, but her character is not a babyface.
I'm in love with her. Did I say that out loud?
She's not like most girls.
I'm not like most girls. That's Nia's theme. I'm not like most girls. All right, moving on.
All right, moving on to Collision. Bryan Danielson would open up the show against Andrade in a really good match. The lights go out at the end, and Malachi Black would hit Danielson with a black mass.
This was sick.
I can't wait for this.
Yeah, this was dope.
Well, the theme of the night was House of Black returning to television, making their presence known.
Lights going off.
Sky Blue's been getting angrier and angrier every week.
Also, real quick, for the House of Black stuff, did you notice, because Malachi is a very, detailed person about his stuff, he doesn't have that eye, it's like the
makeup,
the darkness around his eye anymore.
Yeah, he actually
he's always worn the contact though, right?
He got the infection to go away, and what it's going to do is now it's going to start all over again. It's going to start as like a little dot and then slowly grow till it's his whole face all over again.
Well, they were in Memphis this week, and we had to witness a Memphis street fight with Jeff Jarrett defeating Eddie Kingston. Because Jeff Jarrett won, Jay Lethal gets a title shot at the ROH title.
That wasn't even like a match.
It was a
though.
Memphis
just
street fight. Did Jerry Jarrett come out and he was like, "Huh? Well, you take the chicken and the mayonnaise and you put it together and you make chicken salad,
mayonnaise.
Huh?"
We all know T Swift was Jeff Jarrett's babysitter, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's actually real.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude. Taylor Swift was Jeff Jarrett's
TNA
kid's
times.
babysitter during TNA.
Oh my god,
it's real. It's crazy.
During
the
TNA times, I guess they were doing some storyline and they filmed at Jeff Jarrett's house and Taylor Swift's in the back.
He's the nanny.
Watching his kids.
It's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
We'll send it to you. It's fucking crazy.
That's wild.
All right, Miro defeated Action Andretti as CJ Perry watches on the outside. This is still a very confusing storyline to me with his wife and him. She's so hot and flexible. Don't tempt me. I'm so confused.
Don't tempt me with your sexual body.
This all feels like a weird sex kink for both of them.
Yeah.
One day, my God will make me come, and you will make me come harder.
We will all come everywhere.
Come. Come. All right, and moving on.
FTR gets taken out by the House of Black after their match. And then the main event was Ricky Starks and Big Bill retaining their titles against Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli. House of Black interferes to cause the loss, and then House of Black attacks the Blackpool Combat Club members. FTR Danielson and John Moxley, who is returning from a concussion, join in on the fight. House of Black was making their presence known throughout the night. I did not cover Battle for the Belts.
Well,
fucking 20 because nothing ever happens. But
yeah, how
was the thing with Orange
ended.
Cassidy.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say how Collision ended was Claudio giving the swing to Ricky Starks for the last I think it was 2 to 3 minutes, until the show went off the air.
And then Battle of the Belts had Orange Cassidy doing a big ass shoulder check to Moxley.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Orange Cassidy's gonna turn heel.
I hope so. He's another guy that needs to go heel.
Yeah,
he's been babyface his entire time.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that wraps up the show, boys.
Yes, thanks, Tim.
Yeah, well, you guys know my feelings about the orange one.
Well,
The orange one.
All right. Well, does that wrap up? You said that wraps up the reviews for the week?
Wraps it up.
All right. I got a good classic show of the week this week. This is old school, baby, but not that old school, so a lot of faces that everybody's going to be familiar with, and they are all in different, very fascinating card. They're all in different places now, doing different things, and it's just wild. So NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, the original, is my classic show of the week. I don't even know if we've done NXT. The original NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. So check out this. It's an 8-man tag. Zack Ryder, a.k.a. Matt Cardona, the Indie God, and Mojo Riley, Enzo Amore, and Colin Cassidy, a.k.a. Big Bill, against FTR, Chad Gable, and Jason Jordan. How wild is that? Everybody's I
remember that
Bill
team.
had a name before Big Cass?
Yep. Colin Cassidy.
That was actually a good name.
Yeah. Eva Marie against Carmella. Throwback.
Eva Marie.
Elias Sampson, when he had a first and last name, against
the Drifter.
Against Bull Dempsey. Fatal 4-Way, Dana Brooke versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte versus Emma. The Vaudevillains
Two of them are with the company.
Yeah, the Vaudevillains, Aided English, and Simon Gotts. Yeah, against Blake Murphy. Against Blake and Murphy, and Alexa Bliss was the manager. How crazy is that? Apollo Crews versus Ty Dillinger, who's now known as Sean Spears. This is another weird one. Baron Corbin, who's on his NXT Resurgence run right now, against Samoa Joe. Bayley versus Sasha Banks.
That was actually a really good match.
Yeah. Bayley versus Sasha Banks in a classic for a single for the NXT Women's Championship. And the main event.
Was that the ladder match?
This one's just a singles.
Okay.
And then the main event, which these guys still in the same company, but in two very different places in their career, for the ladder match for the NXT Championship, Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens.
And Kevin Owens.
Yeah. And that was Demon Finn Balor, I think.
Yeah, what a pay-per-view. This is a
bang. Never mind. I don't want to spoil the winner of that. I think I know who wins.
But everybody, if you look at a lot of these NXT pay-per-views from the 2015 to 2018 kind of ish time period, all these guys are like doing all different stuff now. They're either in AEW or they're on the main roster or they're like having a second NXT run or like I don't know, but it's crazy. Like they're all over the place. It's cool. A lot of great talent. You know who I was thinking about the other day, and I know we're signing off here, but who was the tag team that were the two big guys that wore like camo, and I think they were like Samoan. Yes, they were awesome. What happened to them?
Yeah, they got re-signed. They're waiting to do something.
That was like months ago, though.
But they're still signed. Authors of Pain.
They were like, they were awesome. They were a great tag team.
Yeah, they didn't know how to fucking book them on the main roster.
Well, now Triple H is there, so hopefully he can do it.
They were with their manager. You know the manager.
Paul Elrig, who was the manager of the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
That wraps up episode 103. We appreciate you all joining us every week for pro wrestling reviews and content. Thank you all so much. Have a great week and enjoy pro wrestling. And we will see you next week with episode 104.